Hi, kids. Okay, box office report. Let's look at the top 10 from the box office from the past weekend. So, number 10 was Hocus Pocus. That's right, the 1993 Halloween classic, even though in 1993 wasn't released during Halloween, uh, was released into theaters for spooky season, played in 1,430 screens, made $1.6 million, and it can say we outperformed Barbie for this weekend, anyways. Number 9 is Equalizer 3. Last week it was number 8. It also made, it made $1.8 million for a total of $88 million domestically. These are domestic numbers in its sixth weekend. Number 8, Dumb Money. Last week, number 7. Made $2.1 million for a total of 10.6 in fourth weekend, although it was in limited release at first, which is why the total is down to 10.6. Number 7 is The Nun 2. Last week was number 4. $2.6 million at the box office, $81 million total in its fifth weekend. It seems like people had a decision which kind of film to see, and they chose, as many people chose The Nun too. Number 6, A Haunting in Venice. Last week, it was also number 6, made $2.6 million as well. $35 million it's made domestically so far in its fourth weekend. Probably the end of that series, maybe. Number 5 is The Blind. Last week it was also number 5. This is the Duck Dynasty movie you've been asking for. It made $3.2 million for a total of 10.5 in its second weekend. Number 4 is The Creator. Last week it was number 3. It made $6.2 million, so quite a jump up from 5 to 4, from 3.2 to 6.2. $25 million so far for The Creator in its second weekend. Number 3 was Saw X. Last week it was number 2. It made $7.8 million in its second weekend for a third total of $32 million. And then number 2 is Paw Patrol, the Mighty Movie. Last week it was number 1. It drops one spot at $11.3 million. So that's how many kids went and saw it. $38 million domestically so far in its second weekend. And then number 1 is Exorcist Believer. Made $26 million, kind of on the lower end of its projections. It was expected, hoped to make about $29, $30 million. This was its debut weekend. So we're talking about horror movies. I think they're expecting it to do better. The highest grossing horror film of the year so far is The Nun 2. When The Nun 2 debuted, it made about $32, $33 million in its debut weekend. So, what is that? $6-7 million less is what The Exorcist did. But the studio will tell you it's got legs. Look at The Nun. Look at these other films. They have legs. It'll stick around in the box office for a while. I don't know. Nun 2, by the way, has made double what it's made domestically worldwide. So it's paying off quite well internationally. In Believer has made the $26 million domestically, $17 million internationally. But maybe there's still some countries where it isn't playing yet. We shall see. But this weekend, it's not playing as well internationally as The Nun 2. That's a total of $44 million in its first weekend. But remember, the film cost $30 million to make, and they paid $400 million for the rights to make this new Exorcist trilogy. David Gordon Green, I think they were expecting that this film would do like David Gordon Green's first of his Halloween trilogy. Halloween, I think, made 220 somewhere around there $1 million. That's what you're expecting in order to make it worth it to spend $400 million just for the rights to make some movies. Otherwise, you could have just tried to start your own franchise, maybe. Maybe that's an idea. I don't know. And then, of course, it's usually that we drop off about 30% from weekend to weekend, so it could make another $18 million domestically next weekend. But next weekend is the Eras Tour. Taylor Swift is coming. You better watch out. She's going to take all of the money. She will be number one. I don't really doubt that. So, Exorcist Believer, you're number one for one weekend. Sorry. The Eras Tour could probably, potentially, from pre-sales and everything, it's expected to make $100 million opening weekend. That's a little bit more than 26. Anyways, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe.